Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
No one could have known it then, but when Daytona International Speedway opened in 1959, it marked the beginning of a new era in American motorsports. As a replacement for the old beach road course a few miles to the east, the opening of the high-bank 2.5-mile Florida Tri-Oval represented the leading edge of a wave of construction of big paved speed palaces. Before Daytona, Indianapolis was the only American oval track longer than 1.25 miles, and most racing took place on dirt ovals 1 mile or less in length. From the very first Daytona 500 won by Lee Petty in a three-way photo finish, those high banks proved a favorable venue for wide-open stock car racing. Daytona kicked off the growth of NASCAR as we know it today. Daytona International Speedway's infrastructure has grown and changed to such a degree that it would be almost unrecognizable today to someone who hasn't seen it over the last 20 years. It's an amazing facility, but one thing hasn't changed over the past 6 decades. No driver can consider his or her career complete without notching a victory at Daytona. From Dale Earnhardt, who captured the 500 in 1998 after coming so close so many times, to 14-year-old kart racers whose racing resumes are just beginning, a victory at Daytona is a mark of distinction. Tonight, it's the IROC Challenge Series RS12 Motorsports 250, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Daytona. Race 1, the RS12 Motorsports 250 IROC Challenge Series Season 10. Getting ready to get underway here. Let's look at the race details for tonight. 79-degree ambient temperature, 69% humidity, partly cloudy skies, almost no breeze, 1 mile per hour. How do they measure that? Race details, 100 laps, stage coming at lap 35. Tricky one here, no caution for this stage. It's just going to serve out some points on that lap. Whoever is leading will obviously win that stage, but no caution will be thrown. Fuel capacities tonight, 75%, 3 sets of tires available over the wall, plus the ones that they start on, 1 fast repair, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if necessary. Track temperature, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, nice and cool. Handling could still play a factor here tonight at the Speedway as this track ages. That does make a difference. Practice and qualifying in the books already. Warm-up session just about complete. Your fast times to this point. The 11, Zachary Cleek, then Chris Wally second, Brent Butler, Timmy Schofield, Brian McCann, your top 5. As we're about to drop the black and red flags on the session, we'll get right into it in just a moment here. But let's take a look at some of the partners that we've got on board this season. Of course, RS12 Motorsports, Coles County Speedway, R&R Racewear, Anything EC, Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing, 3 Wide with DJG, Charity Motorsports, Supreme 3D Printing, Spartan Transportation, Premier Racing Setups, and of course, Care for Kids, Zoe's Place, Child Advocacy Center, and Ellie's Place. With that said, it is time already for our starting grid, so let's take a look at it. Our starters for the RS12 Motorsports 250 on the pole position with a lap time of 50.965 seconds. It's the 70 of Aaron Smith. He's back, folks. Outside front row, the number 49 Rev'd Racing driver, it's Adam Petit. Row number 2, it's James Pileski, Brian McCann. Row 3, it'll be Jason Nilgis and Mike Koch. Row 4, Matthew Mormond and Zachary Cleek. Row 5, Todd Cleek and Lilith Peters. Starting from the 11th position, it's the 12 of Timmy Schofield. Will Tyndall will start 12th. 13th belongs to Chuck Sweeting. 14th, Garrett Johnston. 15th starter, it's Steve Durbin. 16th, Casey Benz. Vincent Short rolls off in the Track Bar Motorsports number 55. Chris Wally rolls from the 18th position. Kyle Pendergraft, 19th. 20th belongs to Newt Quick. 21st starter, it's Peter Ruzick. 22nd, Larry Bruner. 23rd, it's Kristen Strader. Brandon Leclerc rolls 24th. TJ Majors in the 6th this week. He'll start 25th. Kyle Hardy, 26th. 27th, it's Kyle White. 28th belongs to the Charity Motorsports entry of Brandon Mefford. 29th starter, it's Brett Rinn. 30th, Philip Chartier. Shane Haas starts 31st. 32nd, Andrew Allen. Brent Butler, 33rd. Joshua Muir starts in the 34th spot. Kevin McCann back in action in his familiar number 33. He starts 35th. Chris Goins, also a Track Bar Motorsports entry. He rolls 36th position. Evan Janik in the 37th. Chris Mefford, 38th. Doug Wysocki, 39th. Josh Funkhauser is the 40th starter. Matt Kopp, 41st. And last but not least, in the number 9, it's Adam Benefiel from 42nd, shotgun on the field. It's your starting grid here from Daytona. Field on 1 of 1 pace lap. They roll the back straightaway. Stream chat is open. We got Vincent Short. One of the drivers already in the IROC chat. Says good luck, everybody. Feel free to chime in and let us know who you're rooting for, where you're watching from. Just keep it PG for the kids. And race details for tonight. 100 laps the distance, 250 miles. Stage break, not a break. At lap 35, 75% fuel, 3 tire sets available, 1 fast repair, 3 attempts, and green-white checkered finish if necessary. Pace car makes the left turn to head down pit lane. Aaron Smith, Adam Petit on the front row. The green flag is in the air. Couple of cars already jockeying out of line here. Entrance to turn number 1. They tuck back in, get above that yellow line. You don't want to be below that. Petit with the early advantage on the exit to turn number 2. Down the backstretch for the first time today. Field still coming up to speed. Aaron Smith jockeys back to the front of the field here. Was as low as 3rd into turn number 3. That's going to switch up a ton here tonight. There's a little bit of skill involved in this game here as far as drafting is concerned. A lot of strategies will be at play, but Petit now out in front, or Pettit for that matter. So Pettit leads. Brian McCann up to the second spot. Lilith Peters third. Already up 7 positions for the one. Pettit leads. Brian McCann right on the back bumper. Just going to suck up some draft here for a little while. Fuel, not necessarily an issue yet. Only 2 laps complete here at Daytona, but the guy's already starting to think about saving as much fuel as possible. That lead dog in front of the pack, the 49 of Pettit, he's burning the most. He's got the thing all the way to the wood here. That accelerator flat on the floor, so he's using every drop of Sunoco Racing fuel that car's got in it. Everybody else behind him can run maybe half, 3/4 throttle just sitting there in the draft. They can save fuel and worry about it later on. The pack has already split up pretty bad here. We may have had an incident early on in the running. Didn't catch a caution for it. Let's see if we can go back and look at it. This is on the start. Saw some of those drivers get... Oh, yeah, there it is. Big time incident into one. I don't know how we didn't catch a caution on that one. So that was Andrew Allen primarily. Some other drivers involved, of course. We'll check out this one here. Brandon Mefford also on lap 1. Mefford tore up already. Going to burn that fast repair at the very beginning of this race. So Chartier a lap down to this point. Brandon Mefford down a couple. Still had to get that thing back to pit lane for the fast repair to be applied. We've got some chatters in both chats. Again, we are dual streaming here at Track Limits Network on the IROC TV channel on YouTube, also Track Limits Network on YouTube. On the HBR, well, it's the old HBR chat, Track Limits Network chat. Matt Milner says, let's go, Brandon. And we got, let's see, Shady Acres Broadcasting and Entertainment says, here we go, Kyle Hardy in the 35. We got Zoriku over in the IROC chat says, let's go, number 1. Shady Acres giving us some info here. Says they checked up in front of the 35 and Novi behind him did and got run over. Missed the message, unfortunately. Pettit continues to lead over Brian McCann, Lilith Peters, Aaron Smith, James Pileski. Those of you new to the IROC series, if you remember way back when, the actual IROC series that ran with all kinds of drivers, could be IndyCar, NASCAR, drag racers, you name it. Even Steve Kinzer jumped in one of these at one point, back when they ran the Formula Firebirds and Trans Ams. You gotta go further back, they were running the Camaro IROCs. These cars painted up all reasonably the same. Different numbers, of course, different colors, but a bit of a throwback to the IROC series from back in the day. Kind of like that. .42 cars taking the green here tonight. A very full field here at Daytona. Good to see those numbers. Like to carry that on all the way throughout the season. Little glitch there, that's okay. We got it fixed, don't panic. Pettit still out in front. Can still in line behind Lilith Peters. Not much has changed there in the top 5. On board with Brian McCann. Top 4, top 5, single file, 6th and 7th side by side. That's Jason Algis and Mike Koch. Watching Mike Mormon now in the 11th spot. That red number 60 machine in the outside lane, just to the outside of Todd Kleek. Taking a look at TJ Majors back in the 25th position. That is where he started this race. So TJ quietly just minding his own here. A long race, only 10 laps of 100 in the books. Got to take care of that race car, be around to finish this thing. You can't win it unless you're there. Now inside the top 15, Steve Durbin and Vince Short side by side. Durbin in the number 99 machine, Short in the 55. Typically you'd see Vince run a 15, with that number occupied by Garrett Johnston this season. One car losing connection there for a moment, blinked out. I make note of that strictly for the fact that that is a very dangerous situation, really at any racetrack, but more so here on the super speedways, because you're so closely packed up to the driver, to the left, to the right, to the front, the back, you name it. That car blinks out, disappears. It doesn't just automatically leave the session. So it could come back in, and if you're not careful, it could land right on top of your race car and cause a major incident. So far, so good, however. These guys that have lost a little bit of connection come back pretty quickly. Back up front, though, no longer single file. Pileski now with a nose out in front to the outside of Adam Pettit. From that early checkup, field has been split apart pretty considerably here, but now Majors, Kyle White, Larry Bruner, they're all lined up here in a trio, but they may be starting to lose that draft. Now, not necessarily a huge issue. You're certainly at a far less risk running way back in the field, at least right now. Something crazy happens up in front of these guys. They've got plenty of time to react and avoid it. Another group further ahead. This is just inside the top 25 as we look at the 51 of Chris Wally. This group running single file as well. Again, early on, going to take care of these race cars. On board with Jim Pileski. Oleski rolling around the outside here. He'll take the race lead. Pettit charges back to the front here. A little bit of a run through the tri-oval. The guys are just trying to feel everybody out right now, see who they can work with, who they're comfortable around. I know there's been some practice races leading up to the start of this season. Guys certainly taking some mental notes as to who is a danger and who is not. Back and forth, the top and bottom lanes kind of playing a seesaw battle here at the front of the field. Pileski with a nose out in front, down the back. Now the inside lane going to roll on by, but still not able to complete that pass. Pettit certainly can't opt for the high line just yet. Wasn't clear, hasn't been clear for a while. Again, these guys were single file out at the front of the field for a little bit. Now they're getting a little racy, some heat into the tires, some confidence building in the drivers inside that helmet. Some more names into the chat here. We got Vintage Hiker. We got Alex Polak. It's over on the Track Limit side. Thanks for checking in, guys. Again, just a reminder, IROC TV and Track Limits Network channels on YouTube, both broadcasting this live. Dual streaming here at Track Limits as Pileski gets clear of Pettit, drops down to the bottom side of the racetrack. But help us out with that. Go ahead and click the like button on whatever stream you're watching, and then if you get a minute, swing over to the other channel and do the same. It helps us here at the network, and it also helps out the league on IROC TV. They can certainly use those numbers as everybody can. So do them a favor. It's free to do, and it makes a bigger difference than you realize. Pileski still with the lead, but here comes the 88 of Jason Nilges. Past history has shown that the 88 runs well here on the super speedways. Nilges up one spot, started in P5. Lap 20 on the board, just about 15 shy of our stage. Again, reminder to those of you just joining us, there is one stage, but there's going to be no caution for it. They'll just continue on, keep running, they'll pay out some points, and the race continues. Update from earlier on. We had a bit of a wreck really into turn number one early on in this race, about lap one. We never got a caution for it. Somebody mentioned that the admin was late to throw it or missed it. This series, at least tonight, based on what I just checked, they are on iRacing caution. So unfortunately, the algorithm with iRacing missed that one. Want to give a call quickly here to Garrett Johnston in the number 15 machine. He is up 9, now 11 positions into P3. That's the 15, the green machine to the outside. Trying to get some more here, 22 laps in. Big time push from the 60, Matt Mormon. Field starting to get bunched back up, however, mostly single file now to the inside lane. A couple of interlopers on the outside, 4 cars making up the high side of the racetrack, but you see they are losing touch of the rest of these leaders quickly. Not enough manpower or car power or horsepower, who knows, but they can't keep up with these leaders here. They're all single file. That is the fastest way around here. Get formed up one by one by one all the way down. Gotta have the numbers in the next lane to make that push towards the front of the field, and they just don't have it right now. Nile just now out in front. Tyndall into the second spot. It's Tyndall up now 10 spots. So is Garrett Johnston. Tyndall is second. Johnston fourth. Another check of the chat here. Shady Acres Broadcasting Entertainment. It says, enjoying the broadcast, my friend. Well, I certainly appreciate that. Glad you're here watching. I don't know if I've got this set up, but if you want to drop a link to the Shady Acres Broadcasting and Entertainment, feel free to do so I can follow it later on. Leaders starting to reel in some lap traffic ahead, about quarter straightaway down the track. Definitely going to be a bit of a delta between those 4 cars ahead of the leaders and the rest of this field. However, they should blend in once they get caught. That could create some havoc here once they get there, because you're adding some more to the mix. They're going to be a little bit slower once they show up. Hopefully they can make a decision, kind of do it all together, and we don't have any chaos. Drivers on pit road, Chris Mefford and the like, Gones, Mears, Hardy, and others coming to pit lane. On the 46 of Chris Mefford, way past his pit box. Luckily, they can ghost through other cars, so he just backs it up into the stall. He'll get this thing done here, but he's going to lose a ton of track position and only... Man, I don't know if he's going to have a drafting partner when he gets back out. That's going to be something to keep a close eye on. Meanwhile, Chris Goins completes his pit service. He's going to head on back out. And we have more of our leaders now going to come down and pit. So green flag stops, 26 laps in here at Daytona. A lot of drivers on pit road. TJ Majors in his pit stall, again still back deep in the field in the 28th position. Majors still waiting, and he heads back out, 12.53 seconds. Don't know if the right side of that car went up in the air or not. Early on in this run, though, no necessary need to take tires. So as it stands right now, the top 11 cars out on the racetrack as Aaron Smith retakes the top spot. They have yet to pit. They stay out. So does Chris Wally. Wally's back about 4.5 seconds. Now the rest of those drivers that were in the top 10 have come down to pit. Here's Matt Mormon in the 60. Mormon down and away. 13.5. Larry Bruner now into his pit stall. Fuel only for Bruner as Aaron Smith peels off the racetrack. Aaron Smith into that number 1 pit stall. His benefit for being on the pole position here tonight. Right side tire change for the 70 machine. Does it go with 4 here? Doesn't really have a whole lot of help. It's right sides only for Aaron Smith. 12.85 seconds. He's down and away. Heads back out onto the racetrack. Chris Wally was in behind. Now he's leaving. 13:27 the time in his pit box. So Wally's going to hammer down here, try to get up to speed as fast as he can. See the field flashing by on the banking here in Daytona. Wally's got to stay down there until you can get to that blend line, that blue line on the exit of turn number 2. There it is. Now he can move his way up. Got to pay attention though. Look at that relative. Still some cars coming. Should be able to blend in here behind, I think that's the 23 machine. That's Shane Haas. Brandon Leclerc not too far back in the number 21. So back out front now, Aaron Smith was able to get on and off of pit road very quickly. And a quick stop to boot. Adam Pettit now second. Also a pretty quick stop. And as soon as I say that, Tyndall's going to go to the outside and take second away. Not close enough to cut down and get in front of the 49, but these guys are going to reel in Aaron Smith right now here on the back straightaway. They're all drafting, packed up. Aaron Smith's going to keep it on the bottom. It's going to really slow that inside lane. The outside is going to flash on by. Tyndall off the nose of Jason Nilgis. Nilgis pushes him right into turn number 3. Thinking about going to the bottom, but Tyndall keeps moving down. Doesn't want to give up that number 1 position. .30 laps go up on the board, approaching our stage. Currently 30 cars still on the lead lap. First one lap down. It's the 81 of Josh Funkhauser. Aaron Smith has slipped a bit here after getting caught by the field. Almost too fast in the pits. Not enough for a penalty, of course, but the penalty he's serving is he didn't have anybody to draft with once he got out in front. Didn't lose too much ground when he got caught there. He's in P6 trying to get it back. Keep a close eye on that yellow machine. It's going to be a factor here as long as he can keep it out of the wall, keep the fenders on that race car. Aaron seems to always find a way. Andrew Allen, the number 96 machine, not on the lead lap here, trying to get drafting in here, trying to get tucked into this pack. Runs in the 38th position. I want to give an update here about Philip Chartier. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Some new names in the series this season. Has yet to rejoin the race. I think he's heading back out now. There he goes. Shown dead last on the field. Ken Phillip was involved in that first lap crash. Either chose not to use the fast repair or forgot to check it. Either way, he spent some time in the pits. Chuck Sweeting running back in P12, the last car in this pack. Kyle Pendergraph in the number 14 black and red machine. Pendergraph up 15 positions, currently running in the 4th spot. Tyndall still leads here, going to take lap 35 in just a moment. At the end of 35, that is going to be the end of our stage. Again, no caution will be thrown for the stage break. We're going to continue racing, which especially for places like Daytona, Talladega, kind of like to see that. Green flag pit stops kind of separate the field. A little less congested throughout the 2.5 miles here in Daytona. Tyndall still leading down the back straightaway. Jason Niles is tucked into the back bumper. Outside lane starting to move, but do they have the numbers? Are they organized enough? Do they have enough energy to make a challenge here on a turn 4 and beat the 62 to the line for these points? It does not look like that's going to happen.
Caution.
Caution is out. That will be the stage.
Very, very difficult official this week, so make sure we're minding our P's and Q's.
And it appears that Kyle Hardy has had an issue out on the speedway. The 35 in the fence. Looks like we got our caution just a little sooner than we had planned. Let's take a look at it. Oh, gets hooked. I don't think it was an intentional hook. I just think it was a poorly timed push. A couple of drivers getting caught up in this. It's a shame because that was after the start-finish line. Oh, man, the 44 comes in hot. So stage 1 in the books. Only stage break, so to speak. Again, we got the caution because of the incident, not because of the stage. It just got timed out that way. But it gives us a break. We'll see if we have any takers on pit road. Looks like we've got a few, and Will Tyndall's going to be one of them. Niles, Pileski, Pendergraph, Bentz. Very big chunk of drivers going to come down all the way down to P16, 17, and more. Will they take tires this time, or is it just another top off of fuel? '62 stays on the ground. Fuel only for William Tyndall. He's down and away. Aaron Smith, meanwhile, he's in the box. Right side tires going on again. 22 deep in the pit box, or are they sharing pit boxes? Looks like they are sharing boxes, so only 40 stalls here at Daytona, it appears, in iRacing at least. Tyndall, your stage winner. Take another moment here to thank the sponsors and partners of the IROC Challenge Series. Read them off earlier, but you can see them. There are plenty of them. All playing a part in this league, jumping on board, helping bring this to you guys out there in YouTube land. So Tyndall still shown as the race leader. It's on and off of pit road under caution. Maintains his top spot. I'd like to pull Tyndall up into the booth and get a word with the stage winner, but I cannot find him in the chat or the Discord, for that matter. Trying to figure that out one later. Pace car lights are out, so we're on the one to go. Next time by, lap 39, we'll take the green flag yet again. First real caution of the night. Again, the first lap, we had an incident down into turn number 1 that did not draw a yellow, involving, I believe, 3 or 4 different cars. So we'll set the tone for you as we get ready for the restart. Front row is going to be Tyndall and Nilgis, Jim Pileski and Casey Bentz, row 2. Johnston and Brian McCann in row 3. Row 4, Aaron Smith, Chris Wally. Row 5, Vince Short and Kyle Pendergraft. Pace car heads to pit lane. Barney, the flagman, with the green in hand.
Green flag.
Fires off his Tyndall, and we're back racing from Daytona. Tyndall coming up to speed with some drafting partners in behind. Casey Bentz now to the outside. Not a ton of help there in the top lane. You got the 15 of Garrett Johnston and Aaron Smith as well, but really only 3 cars close enough to do anything. Here comes the 55 of Vincent Short. Keep an eye on Short. He runs these super speedways well also. Bentz now to the race lead, heading down into turn number 3. Locks it down in front of the 15 of Johnston. Aaron Smith now to the point on the nose of Vincent Short. I told you, keep an eye on that 55. Vince Short now finds himself into the top 3. No one to his outside just yet. Taking a peek to the right side of Aaron Smith. Maybe keeping some fresh air on the nose of his machine. And Smith loses connection just for a moment. Again, we talked about the dangers of that. Quickly, though, comes back in. No issue. 42 laps go up on the board here at Daytona International Speedway. Aaron Smith leads Vincent Short, Casey Bentz, Garrett Johnston, and Adam Pettit. We're going to step aside, get a track limit side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back in Daytona International for the RS12 Motorsports 250 Race 1 of the IROC Challenge Series. Aaron Smith now back out in front. Just a few laps shy of a halfway point of tonight's race. 125 laps about to go up on the board. Just give it a few more. Aaron Smith again, a little connection issue as Vincent Short runs in the tire tracks of the 70 machine. Vince still hanging tough there with Aaron. Casey Bentz runs third. Now to the outside, the 60 of Matthew Mormond. TJ Majors quietly working his way up into the top 5 alongside Adam Pettit, number 49 machine. By way of the draft, Majors has slipped back to the 8th spot, now trying to push the 60 of Matthew Mormond. Little bump draft. Takes a move to the outside, gets there, had a big run. I don't know if the 60 checked up there or what the situation was, but he's going to be caught in the middle of this pack. Now the 23 machine is Shane Haas. Try and draft up to the 6. More action just ahead of these guys. Jason Nile just now side by side with Tyndall. He got a little crossed up as well. Majors now making a move again. Big time run into 3. Really nowhere to go, but he goes to the top of the racetrack. Almost touches the wall. 3 wide, middle of 3 and 4. TJ Majors, time to go. 3 wide, 3 rows, deep in trouble behind the 34 is around.
Quickly tell me about your car if you can.
Doug Wysocki gets turned here, coming to the start-finish line. So we'll be over halfway as the field gets back around. Doug trying to go through the infield grass here. Pretty significant damage on the 34. He's going to have to find his way back around. And if he hasn't already done so, burn that fast repair. Take a look at it again. Gonna back this one up and slow it down. Maybe we'll change the camera angle here, see if we can get a better look at this. 34 down low. A couple cars actually getting the outside wall here, exited turn 4, and I think it kind of forced some guys to make abrupt changes in lane. 26 comes down because he saw the 19 up in the wall, and that's where he makes contact with Doug. Kind of right hooks him inadvertently. This 99 machine of Durbin's going to get a piece of it as well. Now, Durbin scraped the wall out of 4 as well, but doesn't look like his car sustained too much damage. Wysocki really got the brunt of that. I think it was the 22 as well, getting the big chunk. Pit stop's underway. Field is in. Aaron Smith, another quick stop, 7.5 seconds, gas and go. Once again, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsors for tonight's event, this season, this series, this league. RS12 Motorsports, Coles County Speedway, R&R Racewear, AEC, Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing, 3 Wide with DJG, Charity Motorsports, Supreme 3D Printing LLC, Spartan Transportation, Premier Racing Setups, and Care for Kids. Taking a look at the schedule, moving on to next week, August the 18th, the 3 Wide with DJG 175. That'll be at Rockingham Speedway. 175 laps. Race 2 on the season. Then we go to Dover, Kansas, Gateway, the Bull Ring at Las Vegas. That one is going to be interesting with 40 cars. I don't know how he's going to run that one. Maybe it'll turn into heat races. It does appear that's going to be the case. Very small track. Then we roll off to the Tricky Triangle at Pocono, then Eldora on the dirt. That's going to be fun. Wilkesboro, Atlanta Motor Speedway, then Nashville coming up in November, Bristol, Talladega, Auto Club, Vegas, Kern County Raceway, then Daytona again, then Michigan, Atlanta again, and then we close out the season January 12 of 26 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Steve Durbin heading to pit lane again. Not sure if Durbin got a penalty. Take a look here. No, he's going to make this stop a little late. Now, Durbin is still in his pit box. He may be held here. So maybe this was a combination. I don't know if he knew he had a penalty to serve, so you might as well put on 4 tires. Either way, Durbin now in the pits. Clock continues to tick. Get the answer here in just a moment when I see the clock stop. And Durbin remains in the pit, so maybe some damage repair. Now he heads back out. 59.82, a full minute in the pit box. So Durbin went from top 3 far down the running order. Wrapping up caution number 2 here from Daytona. 52 laps about to be complete. Pace car lights are out, ready for the restart. Front row will be Aaron Smith and Adam Pettit. Then Vincent Short, William Tyndall, James Pileski, Brian McCann. 29 machine. Christian Strader, TJ Majors, Chris Wally, Casey Bentz, the top 10. Pace car heads to pit road.
Green, green, green.
Aaron Smith out with a good jump on the restart. It's going to be quickly evaporated as the field starts to draft up on back to the 70 machine. Now outside lane, push into the 49 goes around. Big time trouble, turns 1 and 2. Cars wrecking all over the place.
Yeah,
this is going to wind up a big one. Brian McCann involved, Adam Pettit, Christian Strader, Josh Mears, Wysocki, Kopp, Pileski, Kleek, Sweeting, Brett Wynn is involved, Larry Bruner, Evan Janik. The big one just past halfway here at Daytona, and I think Brian McCann, yep, he is going to need the tow truck to head back to pit lane. So caution number 3, and it's a big one here at Daytona. Try to get a look at it. Back it up a little further here. A little bit of contact from Tyndall in the back of the 49. Adam Pettit goes around in front of all these drivers behind him. And the rest is history. Brian McCann riding the wall just a bit. Will clear the 93. So Tyndall's making contact to the back of the 49 of Pettit here as he was changing lanes a little bit. Wasn't quite square on the 49 when he got there, but then tried to slide over, and that was just enough to hook the 49 around in front of traffic. We'll watch this from Brian McCann's perspective live in real time. Things happen in a hurry. But Zach Mears in the chat says 36, what a save without contact. Well, let's go look at it. Watch the 36 here, rolling into this wreck. You can tell he's on the binders, all four rotors cherry red, just getting it woed up. That's sometimes the best way to do it. Unbelievable. Just stops there on the apron of the racetrack and everybody goes around him. So Mears shown back in the 23rd spot. So that's going to shake things up a bit. Aaron Smith, Vince Short, still the top two. Then it's Mike Koch, Brent Butler, Chris Goins, the top five, Larry Bruner, Casey Bentz, William Tyndall. Again, one that kind of triggered this one, that 62 machine. Tim Schofield, Garrett Johnston, the top 10, as we are 56 laps in here at Daytona. Officially only one driver out of this race to this point. That's the number 35 of Kyle Hardy. He'll have to settle for a 42nd place finish here today. Pace car heads to pit lane. Green flag about to go back in the air. There it is. We're racing yet again here from Daytona. Oh, trouble already. Trying to find who it was that spun off the racetrack. I think Matt Kopp may have been the one. Let's go back, take a look at the replay. Nope, Kopp was just leaving the pits. Maybe it was Kevin McCann. Kevin McCann in the 33. They got jumbled up on the inside. It was bumper, bumper, bumper. And there it is. Kevin McCann and the 21 is going to make some contact, just a kiss to the inside safer barrier. That's Brandon Leclerc in the number 21 machine. Does not trigger a caution, though, so these guys are going to need to work together a little bit here and draft their way back. Out front, change for the race lead. Vincent Short now to the top spot. Brent Butler in the second position at number 76. Then it's Bruner, Jason Nile, just Casey Bentz. Those two battling it out. don't look now. TJ Majors already back up into the top 6 after being involved in the previous caution. Not sure if he had to burn a fast repair, if he got through that one reasonably unscathed. Nevertheless, he's a contender still here. Lap 60 about to go up on the board. He runs in 5th. Jason Nile just now working to the outside of Vincent Short. The 93 of James Pileski trying to push him on by. Not a ton of help from Majors right now. About a car length, maybe half a car length off the back bumper of this group. Nile just now cleanly out in front. Pileski sticking with him. Very similar to the start of this race. We had a quick incident after the green flag, and it has separated these packs. About half a straightaway from the lead pack to the non-leading pack. On board with Jason Nilges. Again, apologies for the car graphic not displaying properly. That's a new issue. Nilges, though, on the high lane, has taken charge. Second pack starting to catch the first. They can get lined up single file. They'll get there faster. Contact behind. The 38 hangs onto it miraculously. Chris Gones. Oh, but there's trouble behind him. Still no caution. I don't know. Something must be up. And there we go. We got more trouble out of turn 4 and still no yellow. All in all, it seemed we had 5, 6, 7, 8 cars all involved in something there in the middle of 3 and 4. Try to get a look. Those drivers all did spin down off the racetrack, so maybe that's why we didn't get a yellow. Meanwhile, back out front, Nilges continues to lead. Nilges second, Majors now third. Fourth is Kyle White. William Tyndall into the top 5. Chris Gones, after a big-time save down the backstretch, he is up from 36th into P6. Nile just throwing the block on the 93 of Jim Pileski. Now William Tyndall up into P3. Here comes Chris Gones into 4th. Majors down to the bottom of the racetrack. He maintains 5th for now with the 22 working to the outside, though not a lead lap car. 22 is Matt Kopp. He's shown in 38th. Leaders starting to get single file yet again, realizing it's still far too early to be pushing this hard. Faster pairs starting to dwindle for some of these drivers. Again, only one allotted for this race. And here comes Aaron Smith. Smith's going to go down a lap. Now Smith is further back in the running order now. He made a pit stop about 3 laps ago just for fuel. I still would not count him out. He has shown over the years he is very good at the strategy game, not to mention he is lightning fast. Runs 28th now. Keep an eye on him for later. '44 Larry Bruner now down a lap. Still a little bit of time before we got to worry about pit stops. Last pit for a lot of these drivers was between lap 50, lap 54. You got to remember, they made about 25 to 26 laps on a full tank of fuel before guys started to peel off under green flag conditions. Could explain the single file we're starting to see, as it's not quite there, but it's getting close, and it's better to be early than late on that. Don't want to get stuck on the outside and unable to get to pit lane when it's time. Adam Pettit back in the 10th spot. He leads this second pack. Zachary Kleek in the 11 to the inside, getting all kinds of help from the 12 of Tim Schofield. More than he wants, it looks like. And it's not really paying off, but Brian McCann back in the mix. Not on the lead lap, but still able to draft. Brian shown in the 34th position. Couple laps down. .26 cars still on the lead lap. McCann, like I said, 34th, 2 laps behind. Couple of cautions, though. If he plays his cards right, he might be able to get those back. Back out front. Niall just continues to show his prowess here on the Super Speedway. Pileski second, Tyndall, Gones, and White the top 5. Then it's TJ Majors, the 46 of Chris Mefford, Vincent Short, Brent Butler, and Adam Pettit in the top 10. Pettit able to stay on the lead lap, still in contention after that wreck. Got to go through William Tyndall to get there. Remember, he spun off the nose of that 62 machine. Again, it did not look intentional, but kind of early for that level of aggression. So we'll see if Pettit's got any hard feelings when he gets there. .70 laps in here at Daytona. We're going to take one more final break, our side-by-side, so you won't miss a moment of the action. But stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Daytona International Speedway, race 1 of the IROC Challenge Series Season 10. It's the RS12 Motorsports 250 at Daytona. Coming to 25 laps to go. Focused on Kyle White here in the 7th position. Says Genesee Brewery Chevy Silverado. I know they're not running trucks, and I know they don't have their sponsors on board, but I want to make note of it. That's right in Rochester. That's where I'm at right now. So cool to see some local guys, at least to me, running this series. Of course, just behind him, TJ Majors, also a Western New Yorker out of Buffalo. With 25 laps to go, Nile just still leads. James Pileski, William Tyndall, Chris Goins, and Vincent Short. Some super speedway talents here at the front of the field. Really does seem like a lot of these guys have calmed down a bit. Which frankly just seems like the calm before the storm. We get closer to the end of this thing, it's going to get chaotic. They always do here in the super speedways, regardless of the talent levels of the drivers. They could be pros or rookies, it's still going to get messy. Aaron Smith still in the mix there in the outside lane, though he is not a lead lap machine. He is the first car 1 lap down in 26th position. And Aaron Smith in that yellow number 70. If we catch another caution, though, he'll be back in the mix, which is going to be trouble for the rest of this field. As long as he keeps the fenders on that thing, he's going to be a threat until the checkered flag flies. Pileski popped out of line for a moment, just took a look to the inside on Nilgis. Not sure if that's a fresh air thing, trying to keep some cool air into the radiator of that machine, or if he's just trying to get into the mirrors of the 88. And here comes the field for some pit stops, and there's trouble. Big time contact for the 38, loses the nose, but then it fixes itself. That's fun. Jason Nilgis, James Pileski from the front, going to come to pit lane. This will be their final stop here with 21 laps to go. This will buy him some insurance too if we get a green-white checkered. Quick pit stops here. This is more about the fuel than anything else. These guys trying to get all they can here on the bottom of the racetrack till they cross that blend line. Now they can move up into the field here on the back straightaway. Kyle White now your race leader. White in the number 19. Majors second. Chris Mefford third. Peter Ruzick runs fourth. Adam Pettit in fifth, but they're on pit lane.
Caution.
And we got a yellow.
Whenever you can, but doing a really good job. Tell me about your race car when you can.
Adam Pettit may have been involved in this. Let's get a look. Not sure of the issue there with the 49. Maybe Chris Mefford. Is this coming to pit lane? We had an issue. Mefford drives back through the grass. Maybe he saw a different issue here. Let's back this up again. There was one car that dove back onto the speedway. I think that was Brian McCann. A little bit of smoke up ahead. Still not sure who it was that's triggered this caution. I guess we could attribute it to this, but with some of the wrecks we've seen earlier on tonight that did not pull a caution, I can't imagine this one did, but That's all I can find. Got on the gas too hard. Went the wrong way. Looks like Pettit was using the endurance pit out and not the Cup Series or oval track pit out. Folks, with 18 laps to go, I apologize if I hiccup a little bit. I got a bad case of them all of a sudden. Trying to use that cough button as much as I can. Love the detail in iRacing. Got the jet landing at the airfield in the background. So we got Zorku in the IROC chat. Says, if the 49 slipping was a caution, why wasn't the opening wreck? Or the two cars spinning out of control out of three? So iRacing cautions are turned on. So they're generated by an algorithm. There's no live admin, at least as far as the yellows are concerned. So it's kind of luck of the draw when we get a caution. And for whatever reason, as of late, last handful of races I've called at Daytona have been a little iffy when it comes to calling cautions when necessary. Again, we had that big wreck in turn number 1 to start the race. That didn't draw yellow. We've had some others as well. Trying to make it realistic, I guess. We see a lot of the same stuff happen in NASCAR where caution on lap 5 isn't a caution with 5 to go. It's obviously not realistically how it happens in iRacing, but we can call it that, I guess. Lights have been extinguished on the iRacing pace car, so we're going to get the restart with 16 to go. Front row is going to be Casey Bentz and Zachary Kleek. Shane Haas, Chris Goins in the second row. Mears and James Pileski in row 3. Nilgis, who's been strong all night. Brent Butler, William Tyndall, and Strader in 10th. Guys that started deep in the field, cracking into the top 5 and top 10. Joshua Mears up 29 positions. Butler up 25. Chris Goins up 32. Pace car hits pit road.
Green flag.
Oh, a slow car to the outside. We got trouble. Car's in the wall, but they keep it going forward. 3 wide. The 14 got a piece of the safer barrier. It's Kyle Pendergraph. 3 wide behind him, coming with a head of steam. Pendergraph back on the throttle. We still stay green. Majors with a big run to the outside of Kristen Strader. Chris Goins to the lead. First time out in front tonight. Best time to do it late in the race. Coming to 15 to go. Goins leads Shane Haas, Butler, Pileski, and Strader. Majors, though, knows it's time to go. Starting to do just that. up into the pack. That was a close call. .14 laps remain. Chris Gones still out in front. Can he maintain this for another 14 circuits around Daytona International Speedway? It's a tall order. As these races play out, that leader tends to be a sitting duck. Aaron Smith back in 18th. He is now back on the lead lap after that caution. Was able to get the lucky dog. Maintained that first car one lap down status. Told you, don't count him out. This one's got a long ways to go. Zorku in the chat. That was close to being a LePage. Yes, it was. It's also close to an Alan DeFries. If you know, you know. Back out front, Goins has lost the lead. Pileski takes over the top spot. Now TJ Major is on the back bumper up into the second position with 12 laps remaining. On board with Chris Goins. Back up into the second spot with a run, trying to take the lead back. Pileski still has it for now. Major is making a move to the outside of James Pileski. The 93 caught in the middle. Big run to the outside. Here comes the 19, looking to the inside. No, he's got room and he's going to go around. Trouble behind the leader, Chris Goins.
Caution.
Big time trouble here after start finish. We've got havoc again. It's our second big one of the night. Kyle White, William Tyndall, Chuck Sweeting, Peter Ruzick, Vincent Short, Zachary Kleek, Shane Haas, Funkhauser, Chris Mefford, all involved in this one here with just about 10 laps to go. Saw it coming. 19 had a big time run. Try to grab a replay for you guys in just a moment. Kyle White tore up. So we'll back it up a little further here. You know, I don't typically enjoy this part of it, but here we go. Watch the 19 on the outside. Big push from the 46. Threads the needle, gets there, gets to the inside, but tries to stay off at Majors and clips the 93 of Pileski, and then the rest is history. Major's got a big piece of that as well. Now, if you guys go back and rewind this broadcast, I think I said it with 15 to go. It was going to get a little chaotic. There you go. Sorku says it well. That got real dicey real quick. And somehow I don't think it's over. Kyle White going to take it to pit lane here. Severely damaged. I don't know if he has a fast repair remaining. We'll find out in a moment. Getting word here, Vincent Short somehow got through that. We'll see if we can find a replay of the number 55 machine getting through it. Here we go. Tells a little bit of the story. Let's go to the onboard here. Great job. Just checking up. No evasive maneuvers. Just get it woed up. Make sure no one runs you over in the back. Zorku's been pretty chatty over in the IROC chat. It says, number one, stuck in the midst of it. Life is pain. Talking about Lilith Peters here. Let's watch that one. No matter where Peters went, one was a pinball. Not too much damage, though. Should be all right. So 9 to go. Caution number 5 of the night. Should get the one to go this time, so we'll catch the restart with 7 laps remaining. Chris Goins continues to lead. Again, another driver who has shown some success on the super speedways. I don't know that he particularly cares for this style of racing, but over the years, covered a lot of leagues that Chris has run in. Occasionally, he'll jump up in the booth here with us here at Track Limits Network and call races with us, but he's had some success on these super speedways, so it's to no one's surprise that he's out in front here with an opportunity. Want to see if we can get a closer look here at the TJ Majors machine. It certainly looks like there is some damage, yes, on the back side of that car. Both corners of the back bumper pushed in a bit. Spoiler's a little bit off skew as well. Don't know that he's going to be that great in the wind. He should be fine in the draft. A little bit of nose damage, too, it appears, on the 6. Again, not significant. Should be able to bring it home as long as he can keep this thing out of the fence. Zorko says, not that much damage. Say that like her right front isn't completely off camber. Well, I'm just looking at the body. It's all about aero, right? Shadows getting long here in Daytona. Now some cloud cover to boot. Track temperature is still pretty cool, 83 degrees. Pace car in pit lane.
Green flag.
Green in the air, 7 laps to go. Chris Goins on the gas. It's a little far out in front from the 99, and really Durbin did the same thing. Aaron Smith is going to jump to the inside, up into the 4th spot. Remember, he was a lap down not that long ago. He got it back with the lucky dog and has cut his way through this field, avoided the chaos. Still has all the fenders on that number 70 machine, and the caution's out again.
Any feeling about the car at all?
Peter Rosick involved. Pretty heavy damage on the 26. Talk about cambered in. Let's check it again. Oh, the 62 just tried to go up the middle. Not enough room. Larry Bruner getting a piece of this. Then the 45 of Todd Kleek. He'll go up the track. Hard impact for him. Tyndall saw an opening, but by the time he got there, it was closing. So this is going to set us up for a 4-lap shootout to the finish, if we can run them to the green all the way to the finish. Looks like TJ Major is going to opt for pit lane here. Must have felt something in the race car that didn't feel right. At the moment, still 23 cars on the lead lap. Field coming to the stripe here to get the one to go. So that'll set us up for a 3-lap shootout to the finish. So I guess we'll call it a green, white checker. Keep in mind we do have 3 attempts at green, white checkered finishes if necessary. Cover the details of that if needed. So the front row, as we get ready to close this one out, it'll be Chris Goins with the lead. Steve Durbin now to the outside. Row 2 will be Strader and Aaron Smith. Casey Bentz, Kyle White in row 3. I'm losing it. Well, there's a little mix up there, but either way. Vincent Short, Leclerc, Butler, McCann, Kevin that is, rounding out the top 10. Do we get this settled in the next 3 laps? Pace car is going to come to pit lane. Barney with the green in hand. Let's find out. Chris Goins fires off. Tries to get a jump on Aaron Smith. Got to be careful. Don't want to get too far out in front because the 70 will draft on up, get a run. I think Goins is too far away. Have to throw a block here or deal with the bumper off the 70. There it is. Aaron Smith pushing Chris Goins down into turns 3 and 4. Gets some separation, about a half car length between the 38 and the 70. They're into turn 4, coming to 2 laps to go. Oh, Smith jumps to the outside, coming to the stripe. Smith will lead the lap, but can he get clear? He doesn't have any help behind him, but here comes the 99 of Durbin. Durbin now is going to jump out, going to shuffle Aaron Smith to the middle. Everybody knows how quick the 70 is. They don't want to help him. He's going to go from the race lead back to about 10th, now 12th, now 13th, now 14th. Lap and a half remains here at Daytona. Do they get back to the white? Contact with Durbin. Top 3 starting to get away, and they're 3 and 4 wide behind them. Do they get through turn 4 without a melee? Back to the stripe. White flag in the air. Final lap from Daytona. Goins continues to lead. Now Casey Benz to the back bumper, pushing all the way through turns 1 and 2. Can Chris Goins hang on? Vincent Short in P3. Got to pay attention to the 55. He's a teammate of Chris Goins, but will he abandon him if the opportunity presents itself for a win? Trouble behind. There's a wreck into turn number 3, but the leaders are going to race it back to the finish. Move to the outside. Benz goes for the race lead and the win here at Daytona. He's way up top. No help. Vincent Short goes with him. Coming to the line, Benz wins it at Daytona. Short will come home second, Goins third, Kyle Pendergraft fourth, Joshua Mears in fifth. What a finish. Last lap pass, coming to the line. That may have been the only lap of the race the 27 led, but it's the one that mattered. Casey Benz wins round number 1, the RS12 Motorsports 250 in the books, and Benz picks it up. Big time celebration here at start finish. Casey Benz picking up the win from the 16th place starting position. We're going to step aside here, get a break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Daytona International Speedway, Casey Benz picking up the win here, race number 1, the RS12 Motorsports 250. Let's get a word with the driver of the number 27 machine. Pull him up into the booth here. Casey Benz, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Casey, congratulations, man. What a thrilling finish here at Daytona. May have been the only lap you led here tonight, but man, it was the one that mattered. Perfectly timed pass coming to the tri-oval. How did you set that last lap pass up?
Well, I knew that outside lane was going to be a threat on that entire last restart, and I just kind of was hoping that we were going to get single file. We kind of had all day. And then I just kind of knew I had to back it off going into 3 and then just hope he didn't block it all the way to the fence coming out of 4.
It was kind of a twofold move in strategy there. You guys were able to shuffle out the 70 of Aaron Smith. He's always a threat no matter where we run. He was a lap down earlier, but found himself in the top 3 in the closing laps. You guys shuffled him to the middle, got him out of the equation, and really set you up for the opportunity to make that pass. Was there any doubt in your mind you were going to make it to the line first?
There was a little bit of doubt, like I said. I mean, I thought he was going to go all the way to the wall with that block, and he just didn't. And at that point, it was just like, I know the car behind me didn't have the run. It's just like, I got it at that point.
Well, thrilling finish for sure. Great way to start the season. The best points days are the ones where you finish first, so we look forward now to Rockingham Speedway next week, race number 2. How do you prepare yourself for that racetrack? Again, old school racing at Rockingham.
Yeah, I'm not exactly the greatest driver at Rockingham, I'll definitely admit that. Really different just kind of style in general. I think I've got maybe one win of an iRacing total on that racetrack, and it was in the next gen, and it was by pure luck. So hopefully we get a little bit of luck next week, and it ends up kind of being the same deal.
Playing with house money to start things off, though. Certainly looking forward to Rockingham. Congratulations again on the win here at Daytona. Who do you want to thank?
I just want to thank my teammates. Cleats were with me pretty much all day. We kind of got shuffled there a couple times in the wrecks, and then I want to thank my best friend, who's unfortunately not with us. He did unfortunately take his life a few years ago. I've kind of always wanted to get a win in a series like this for him, so this one's for you, buddy. Andrew, we miss you.
Very good, Casey. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Casey Bentz, your race winner here at Daytona. Next, we're going to talk to the 55 of Vincent Short. We'll pull him up into the booth as well. Talk to our runner-up. We talked about Vince early in this race. Didn't have a great starting position back in 17th, but he was going to be a threat. We knew that from the very beginning. Just came up one short. Vince, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Steve. Hey, buddy. Long time no hear.
Yeah, it's been a while, bud. Congratulations. Still, more things change, the more they stay the same. A second-place finish, had an opportunity for a win here at Daytona. Walk us through your closing laps. We thought you might stick with the 38 of Chris Goins, but when the opportunity presented, you went with the race winner, Casey Bentz, and you picked up a spot in the meantime.
Yeah, when we were coming up, my teammate Brett had run with me. We were just pushing to hold the bottom line until we come around that last turn, and then they made their moves a little early, so it made it a little easier for me. When we was coming off turn 3 and 4, Kyle tapped me in the rear a little bit, so it knocked me loose. So I had to make up the gap again, and then when them two split, it actually caused the bubble for me to get a run on them. I thought I had Casey too there at the end.
Well, second place, still not too shabby. I know it's one you probably want back, maybe to try and get that race win, but next week is another opportunity coming up at the ROC. Rockingham Speedway, and these ARCA cars should be a fun one. How do you prepare for Rockingham?
Well, if I ever finished one. No, that track's actually pretty fun in these cars if you can get a kind of a handle on them. It's patience, a lot of patience at that track. I'm just going to bide my time with as large a field as we have. That track especially, you're going to have to really bide your time and be careful and just kind of pick and choose when you make your moves and save where you can. You know I am. I'm big on saving fuel, so I'm going to try and make it up in that point because I can't run with some of these guys. Fortunately, this is one of the tracks I'm the strongest at. Qualifying, I kind of second guessed myself. I went for the first lap instead of the second because this car tends to do that. But then it bit me, so I kind of laid back and just waited for guys to pick each other off.
Well, either way, a second place finish, certainly a great way to start the season. Congratulations at that, man. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
First, IROC Challenge Series for letting me come back. It's been a few years, so it's kind of nice to race with these guys again. Chris Wally and his group for putting this up. You guys at Track Limits Network, my teammates Brett and Matt. Matt didn't have as real good luck tonight, but Brett hung with me tonight. We actually got halfway decent finishes, so hopefully that carries on for the rest of the season. Thank my wife, Nikki, obviously, my pillar, my grandkids, Kira, Raylan, and Amari, and of course you, Steve.
All right, Vince, man, thanks for the kind words. Good luck next week at the ROC.
Thanks, brother. You too.
Vincent Short, your runner-up here at Daytona. We're going to try and get a word with Chris Goins, but it looks like he doesn't have permission to speak in this channel. I'll pull him up and see. We're going to give it a shot. Chris Goins, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, Steve, can you hear me?
We got him loud and clear. All right, so that's good. Chris Goins, third place finish. Looked like you had this thing sewed up. Out of turn 4, you had the lead, but you lost 2 spots coming to the stripe. Surprise move out of Casey Bentz, timed perfectly. Was there anything short of wrecking the 27 that you could have done differently to prevent that?
No, not really. I mean, being the lead car in the last lap at a super speedway, I mean, you know that you're going to have to try and throw a block, to maintain that position. When I saw Casey make the move, I went up there, but he just had such a run with Vince pushing him that I knew if I threw that block that I wanted to throw, then we were all going around, and most likely none of the 3 of us would finish where we finished. So, at the end of the day, first race of the season, we got to get it rolling in a good way, get some momentum going for the rest of the season. Hopefully, kind of maintain that throughout. So, just wanted to bring it home clean. Unfortunately, we did lose those 2 spots. I saw Vince back there. I thought, maybe just for a second, I'd had a little bit of hope of somebody, maybe he's pushing me. But, last lap, even teammates, I'd probably do the same. So I wouldn't necessarily count anybody as a friend on the last lap. So, But no, congratulations to Casey and Vince for getting up there, and see if we can keep the momentum going.
Plenty of cars tonight ended up on the wrecker, so you bring this thing home with all the fenders on it and a third-place finish. That's certainly better than getting towed back to the garage area. Looking forward now to Rockingham next week. Certainly, you do very well on places like Daytona, these bigger racetracks. But what's your performance like on a track like Rockingham, though it is very unique?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I do actually enjoy Rockingham pretty well. I have had some decent success there in past leagues and stuff. The group of guys that are over here, this is a whole new bunch and a tall order to have these type of finishes week in and week out. So I'm anxious to get onto a non-super speedway track. I do pretty much hate this style racing, but I get lucky with it most of the time. But I'm definitely interested to see how we're going to shake out on these smaller tracks, 1 to 2 mile tracks, and see what we can do.
Well, Chris, congratulations again, man. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to just thank all the sponsors for the league. I would list them off if I knew them by memory, but I don't. But I appreciate everybody that puts their hard-earned money and effort and time into these. Obviously, Chris Wally, being the main one, I guess, and obviously you over here with Track Limits. One of these days I'm gonna get back in the booth with you and call something that's that I'm not racing in. So, but yeah, everybody that's in this league, I just look forward to racing to all these guys and learning a lot from them. Hopefully, I've run with a few of them in the past, and they're all really fast. So, see if we can just kind of get better and hopefully be even more competitive throughout the rest of the season.
Well, looking forward to it, Chris. Congratulations again, man. Good luck next week.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Chris Goins, your third-place finisher here at Daytona. That's going to wrap up the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. So let's take a look at our official race results, barring any crazy changes post-race. This is how they stacked up. Casey Bentz takes the win. Vincent Short second. Chris Goins came home in third. Kyle Pendergraft drives it up into the fourth spot. Fifth place was Josh Mears. Brent Butler was P6. Seventh place was Shane Haas. Aaron Smith came home in the 8th position. Brandon Leclerc 9th. Zachary Cleek was 10th. Adam Benefiel was 11th. Mike Koch was 12th. Doug Wysocki 13th. 14th, Kevin McCann. Kyle White was 15th. TJ Majors strong late in this running, got tangled up in a late race incident, still brings it home in P16. Steve Durbin was 17th. William Tyndall 18th. Jason Nilgis very strong in the early running here tonight. He finishes in the 19th position. Certainly not indicative of the night that he was having. 20th, James Pileski. Trying to get the rest of this to cycle through, and it just won't do it for me. So we'll read it off the list here. 21st was Chuck Sweeting. Josh Funkhauser, 22nd. 23rd was Christian Strader. Brandon Mefford, 24th. 25th, Andrew Allen. Garrett Johnston was 26th. Nuke Quick came home in 27th. 28th finisher, Chris Mefford. Brian McCann, again, another strong car early. Tangled up a couple of times here. He'll finish 29th. 30th, Evan Janik. Todd Cleek was 31st. Peter Ruzick was 32nd. Larry Bruner, 33rd. Matthew Mormond was 34th. 35th, Tim Schofield. Lilith Peters in the 1 finishes 36th. Chris Wally, 37th. 38th was Philip Chartier. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Someone correct me if I'm not. 39th, Adam Pettit. Again, another driver was strong up front, early running tonight. Caught up in a couple of incidents here. He finishes deep in the field. Matt Kopp was 40th. Brett Rinn was 41st, and last but not least, the number 35 of Kyle Hardy finishes 42nd here tonight. It's going to do it for us here at Track Limits Network. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Of course, I want to thank the sponsors we presented again, jumping on board partners this season in the IROC Challenge Series: RS12 Motorsports, Coles County Speedway, R&R Racewear, AEC, Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing, 3 Wide with DJG, Charity Motorsports, Supreme 3D Printing, Spartan Transportation, Premier Racing Setups, and Care for Kids. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, thank you. Stream Chat busy on both platforms. Certainly appreciate that. That makes it more fun, honestly, for me, and it does help in case maybe once in a while we get a boring race and I need some storylines. So keep it up. Zorku, really busy in the chat on the IROC chat. Appreciate that either way. Keep it up, guys. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button on either feed that you are watching, whether it's on IROC TV or Track Limits, or just be a nice guy. Go back and or gal, and do it with both. Check into Track Limits on YouTube and then IROC TV on YouTube. Hit the like button for both of those. Subscribe if you're not already. That makes a big difference as well. Bigger numbers are a good thing here in YouTube. It pushes these things out to some wider audiences, so maybe fresh eyeballs get to see what we do here on the channel. Also get an eyeball on IROC and see what's going on there. It's their 10th season. They've been at it this a long time, but a great league. Chris Wally and the bunch, they put on a great series for us to call. Certainly a great series for you guys to watch. With that, though, I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits. We're signing off here. Congratulations again to Casey Benz picking up the victory here in race number 1 of the RS12 Motorsports 250 at Daytona. We'll see you guys at the next one. Thanks for watching.